One guy who I feel like doesn't get talked about enough and who's anticipated to drop his new album this year is A$AP Rocky with All Smiles. And after 2018's testing, some people fucked with it, other people didn't like it too much. But at the end of the day, Rocky is always bound to create quality music, and he's headlining 3 festivals this year. So that means that we're probably gonna get something, in the early summertime before those festivals go down. So how excited would you say are you for this new Rocky?
Listen, I'm super hyped. I'm a big A$AP Rocky fan. Live.Love A$AP is probably a top 3 mixtape of mine. I'm a big fan of At Long Last A$AP. I was a fan of Testing, and I mean, just right now, I think he's in such a cool place in his career because he's half in with music, he's half in with fashion and on his mogul vibe. So it's cool to see where his headspace is at. But guys, before we get into this episode, leave your expectations for All Smiles. All my Rocky fans, I want you to go down there, explain your take on this because it's interesting now. There's a lot of different sounds that we've heard from snippets. Apparently he's linking up with Clams Casino again, so we're gonna get some old Rocky aesthetic, and I want to know what's going on with it because this could be a massive project for A$AP Rocky.
100%. And I mean, the first kind of taste we got of this new album came in January after the annual Yams Day, where Rocky and Clams Casino teased a song by the name of Sandman. And I started getting some OG Rocky vibes, a la Live.Love A$AP, his debut mixtape. And we kind of get this chop and screwed instrumental where, the tempos kind of slow down of the beat. And I love those types of beats for Rocky because there's a trippy vibe to them, but at the same time, it's perfect for him to kind of just take over and not make the beat kind of overpower him.
When it comes to psychedelic hip-hop, I don't think there's anyone that really does it as good as Rocky. I mean, the whole sort of vibe and mood that he sets throughout his music is beautiful. And I mean, if you're a smoker, you're into psychedelics, I mean, you've probably rocked something by A$AP at some point in your trips or within your sessions. So I mean, just the feeling you get throughout his music is beautiful, and that's what I want to get. I mean, I went through testing in 2018, and there was a lot of great tracks on there, and there was tracks that really made me feel something, and that's what I get out of every A$AP project. It's not necessarily his complex rhyme schemes, or it's not necessarily his writing that really gets me. It's more of the vibrations that he sets up throughout his music. Like, that's what I love about it.
Not only that, but even his charisma, man. I feel like there's no one that brings that liveliness to a track anymore the way that Rocky does.
And what's the one thing you look for when you go through a Rocky track list? Because this guy's track lists are always so well calculated and so well put together.
Yeah, I just expect him to kind of, set the tone early on from the first track, because he always has amazing intros that really set the mood for the rest of the project. And I feel like in terms of just sound, every single one of his, projects has a cohesive sound where, what I mean? If you look at something like At Long Last A$AP, you kind of have, that rock, those rock instrumentals, while also having more of the trippy and LSD type of vibes going on. So, he sets up that from the beginning at Holy Ghost. So that's something that I look for him to kind of just always set the tone right off the bat, and then just, put out these crazy flows from song to song.
Yeah, and what do you want to go back for flows? Because A$AP, his A$AP's effort on testing was beautiful, because as far as his flows goes, not the tongue twister, or his performance went, it was completely different than anything we had gotten before from him, and that's what I enjoyed about the project. But now apparently he's returning to this old aesthetic that he had going on back in 2015. So I mean, where do you think it goes with that?
It's going to be more hype, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like we saw with Babushka Boi, where
Babushka Boi was crazy.
That was hard, man.
I don't know how people aren't fucking buzzing. Like, I don't know how the internet didn't explode over that track.
I don't know how that didn't become a hit. You know what I mean? Because that had the same type of energy that a song like Lord Pretty Flacko Joyde 2 had. A song like fucking Problems had. It had that, super braggadocious Rocky that can do no wrong because he's gliding throughout the whole track and doesn't take a second to breathe.
That's very true. That is very true. And when A$AP Rocky gets locked into a flow, you'll never get him out of it. Like, the whole track is a W as soon as he catches it. And guess what? A$AP Rocky will catch that flow. But another thing I want to talk about is the visuals, because A$AP Rocky's visuals for his albums are always super well done. I mean, probably the best in the industry. I mean, you look at a video like LSD and how well that was done. Gorgeous stuff going on.
Have you seen the apparent cover art?
I have not yet.
You haven't? Okay, I'm gonna try to pull it up for you.
Okay, let me see this.
Yeah, it's actually pretty fire. It kind of has a punk aesthetic to it. So
Okay.
this is on Reddit. It was on ASAP, the ASAP Rocky community Reddit, and it's not confirmed, but it's heavily rumored to be the cover.
Let me
So
see
this is it.
Oh, okay. Let me see this. Hold up, pull it. Okay, fire.
So what do you think of that, man? Does that kind
Whoa.
of give you a hint of what the project might sound like?
I don't know. I don't know if it'd probably be, like, why is the testing dude in the corner? Is that the testing dude in the corner? Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why he would bring that back for this, but I like how ASAP Rocky's in white and black. I mean, we're probably going to pull this up on the
So
screen.
do you
while
feel
we
like he's
record.
going to experiment some more on this new album?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think so. I think Rocky's obviously going to change up the sound from project to project, but I think he's going to go for something that the fans want to hear. Like,
Yeah, that's what it is now.
testing was really him putting out what he wanted to put out and saying fuck it, and the whole the whole rollout is called testing. So I mean, he was testing out a new sound, but this is going to be cool because All Smiles is going to be something in the middle of that. Like, it may not feel like old vintage Rocky, but it's not going to be too far off from what we're used to hearing from him. And he's such an experimental rapper, and the way that he's able to do things is just, it's incredible. Like the flow switches, or the way that he's able to set up his harmonies, or even the vocal like effects that he has. It's just, it's always so cool and well produced. And not only that, but I love his engineering. Like, I go into a Rocky track and it's not the sort of case where his stuff is minimalistic. It's the exact opposite. It's extremely intricate. It's extremely complicated. There's a lot of different sounds going on. There's a lot of stop and goes.
Yeah.
There's tempo changes. There's always a couple. There's always a bridge, or there's always some sort of slow down hook on them.
The composition of the tracks are always on point
Fantastic.
because there's so much going on. And what I love about him too is his ability to pretty much work with any artist that he wants to.
So,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
let's talk about that. Yeah.
If you look at testing, for example, he was able to work with Fuck Twigs. He was able to work with Kid Cudi, with a variety of artists, and he also has these iconic duos like ScHoolboy Q, like Wang Sap with Tyler the Creator. So who would you say is the number one feature you want to see?
Tyler the Creator.
Tyler, okay.
Wang Sap. I gotta get something. I gotta get more material from that. I have to. And I mean, we're gonna talk about that in a future episode that's dropping. Like, we had covered a bit of that Wang Sap connection, and it would be cool because I think, based on what I've heard from Sandman, if that's the vibe of the project, you get Tyler the Creator on there, he's gonna shred it apart. And I guarantee you, we probably will see some sort of Tyler the Creator production on this. I think we will.
Yeah,
I think
because
he will.
Tyler has been more serious into his production bag now, and apparently, like, he's even sent beats to like Pusha T and stuff. So
Maybe.
that could be cool to see. Someone else would be Joe Fox, who of course was on like 5 songs off of a long last ASAP, because he gives more of kind of, I wouldn't say a pop sound, but more of I don't know. More of a mainstream sound that people can gravitate towards for, let's say, hooks and choruses. So the way that he utilized them on At Long Last ASAP was amazing, and that complemented his sound really well. So I just feel like at this point, like you said, Rocky really wants to make the fans happy. He wants to return to that old aesthetic and just make more timeless bangers and provide a real album experience. Like he raps in Sandman, he thinks like visionaries, like George Lucas, like these cinematic directors that have a true vision when they're making a project or making a piece of art.
Thank you guys for watching the whole video. Hit that subscribe button to join the family. We're doing weekly reviews. We're giving you guys all the updates in the industry. Plus, we have our series called What to Expect, where we actually take you through the album before it drops. Plus, if you guys want to chat with us, you guys could join our Discord server. The link is in the bio. You guys could talk hip hop with us there. Thank you guys for watching again. And guys, I'll see you on the next one.